Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm really glad you made it. Look, today I wanted to talk to you about kind of some wild numbers that you might not be aware of. I'm going to do a quick compare and contrast, then I'm going to dive into the content. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that stuff if you haven't. If you want to support the channel more, please consider joining, and let's jump into it. So, did you know that in 2022, over 8 million veterans receive Social Security benefits, accounting for 14.5% of all adult beneficiaries. Now, that part might not be surprising, okay, because we're getting older, right? So receiving Social Security makes sense. Here's the disturbing part, to me anyway. Over 8 million veterans receiving Social Security. How many veterans are there in the U.S.? It's a little over 16 million. So that's half of the veterans. How many veterans are receiving VA compensation? Now, if you receive VA compensation and you've went through the process, you know that probably a good amount of veterans would qualify for something. Obviously, not every veteran's going to be a 50%, 70%, 80%, 100%. Obviously not. But there's probably going to be a lot that are 10%, 0%, whatever, right? 20%, 30%. So let's go back to the question. How many veterans are receiving VA compensation? Now remember, 8 million are receiving Social Security benefits, and there's a little over 16 million in the U.S. 5,400,000 veterans are receiving VA compensation. So more veterans receive Social Security than they do receive monetary benefit from the VA. Now, that's a little bit of a funky statement because there's also other monetary benefits such as VA pension, but it's such a small number it doesn't really change the compare here. So with that, I wanted to talk about a couple different things. One, I'm going to the main purpose of this is there is a potential increase coming for Social Security, and I want to talk about that. But before I do, I want to talk about the 8 million veterans who are receiving Social Security. Of that amount, the ones that are not the 3 million, right? The 3,400,000 that are not receiving VA compensation. I want to just kind of throw it out there. One, if you're not receiving VA compensation in any sort of way, consider it. Look at it, talk to somebody, research it, watch more videos, what have you. Because there might be something there for you. It's a benefit that you earned. Number two, if you were receiving Social Security Disability, SSDI, if you're receiving SSDI, and you are either not receiving anything from the VA, or you are receiving VA compensation, but it's very little, small percentage, 10, 20%, whatever. If you're receiving a small percentage and you're receiving SSDI, consider looking at VA pension. VA pension is another monetary benefit from the VA. It's more of a safety net. You're not going to get rich off of this thing. It's going to bring you up to the poverty level, which is, if you're less than the poverty, that's a good move, right? Anything higher is better. So in other words, if your situation dictates a $30,000 poverty level and your total in qualifying income is $20,000, then your VA pension would then be $10,000 to bring you to the poverty level. I'll do more videos on that. I just wanted to give the super high level overview on that as kind of a call to action to those that may qualify to look a little deeper and seek those resources as we take care of each other, right? Next, I wanted to jump into the article that I saw, and the headline here is Social Security Proposal for $2,400 extra in checks expanded and reintroduced into Congress. Who knows what's ever going to happen with this stuff, but I will tell you that I know many Social Security recipients that are barely, you make it, 2.5 weeks out of the month, and the rest of it you are just rubbing nickels together. You can't leave the house. You don't have gas. You don't have any food. So this came out June 23rd, so not that long ago. And I wanted to just kind of go through it here real quick to shine some light. So it was formally reintroduced. Bernie Sanders formally reintroduced the Social Security Expansion Act to Congress, and this time he had a lot more support from fellow lawmakers pushing the initiative. As Go Banking Rates previously reported, the Social Security Expansion Act was first introduced on June 9th by Sanders and U.S. Representative Peter DeFazio. Under terms of the bill, anyone who is a current Social Security recipient or who will turn 62 in 2023 would receive an extra $200 in each monthly check, meaning Social Security recipients could get an additional $2,400 per year in benefits if the bill was approved, something seniors would no doubt welcome as inflation wipes out their annual cost of living increases. And to slide a piece into there, the Senior Citizens League actually states that the COLA doesn't even bring you whole because senior citizen spending is different than the overall population spending, so it doesn't quite cover everything. So this would be something that would absolutely help. And if something like this went through, the argument is should that happen to VA as well? I say yes. While the initial June 9th introduction of the measure has remained dormant, Sanders and a new coalition of supporters, including co-signers Elizabeth Warren and representatives, a couple other representatives, have renewed interest amid proposed cuts to Social Security as the U.S. faces its latest debt ceiling crisis. Now, here's another point. If from just a government kind of bureaucratic kind of approach, in order to save your budget, oftentimes you will ask for more in hopes that they just deny that and keep you whole, right? So I'm here, they want to cut me to here, but I'm going to ask for here, so then they bring me back to par, right? So this could be a saving measure as well. The latest draft of the bill also provides a way forward for the severely underfunded program, ensuring that the future generations can receive benefits through 2096 by taxing the highest earners in the country. According to a press release from Sanders' office, this will be done all without raising taxes by 1 penny on over 93% of American households that make $250,000 or less. At a time when nearly half of older Americans have no retirement savings and almost 50% of our nation's seniors are trying to survive on an income of less than $25,000 a year, our job is not to cut Social Security, Sanders said in a statement. Our job is to expand Social Security so that every senior in America can retire with the dignity that they deserve, and every person with a disability can live with the security they need. The legislation that we are introducing today will expand Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year and will extend the solvency of Social Security for the next 75 years by making sure the wealthiest people in our society pay their fair share into the system. Right now, a Wall Street CEO who makes $30 million pays the same amount into Social Security as someone who makes $160,000 a year. Our bill puts an end to that absurdity, which will allow us to protect Social Security for generations to come while lifting millions of seniors out of poverty. Now, that's the end of it, but here's the thing. Yes, that is true, because there is a cap on the total contribution income level. So whoever put these laws into place, whenever they got put into place, said as soon as you hit 160, you stop paying into Social Security. And it's such a fractional amount, and I'd actually mentioned this before in a video in the past. I couldn't remember what the number was off the top of my head, so I think I just threw out 140,000-ish as the number. But the reality is that as soon as you hit that number, you just stop paying into it. And I never really understood why, and why they did that to begin with. Why would they put a cap anywhere in it? Is kind of weird to me. So I don't know too much more about the bill. What sort of implications? whatever. I don't know what other sort of issues are going to arise from the increasing or lifting of the income limit for contributions into Social Security. Is there going to be a sliding scale? Maybe you don't get, we'll call it dollar for dollar. It's not dollar for dollar, obviously, but it's going to be a certain amount all the way up to 160. You put in this much, you get this much, but then over that amount, you put in this much, but you get a little bit less, right? So that way it helps to overcome all of the different hurdles that Social Security has. So with that, we'll go ahead and leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.